Yeah. The Joker.
She's my Joker.
Good morning. Welcome to ScreenJunkies Universe. Who's your Joker? Is the question we're asking today. At the top of the show, we have a lot of things to talk about. Netflix being sued by a satanic church. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have an experiential video of Roxy Stryer taking a private jet to watch Queen. That's later. You want to stay tuned for that.
Wow.
That's good. I know.
I wanted her to be live at the courtroom for this lawsuit,
Oh,
actually.
Yeah.
Well, don't disappoint the people, Joe, with your good ideas. We have some amazing celebrity costumes, and then one other story that that we will be doing as well that I will save for a minute. Mr. Dan Merle. Hello. Welcome.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying that I was the story that you
You're
were
not
saving.
the
And I was
story,
like, what? What did I do?
Dan, what'd you do?
What did I do?
You're the story every day.
Oh, hi.
Danielle Radford.
Good
How I know
morning.
it's Thursday.
Oh, Thursdays.
I love you. Joe Starr, and I'm Roth Cornett. Billy the Business.
Yo, good morning, everybody. I didn't even need my scaredy blanket last night, by the way.
Oh,
If
yeah,
anyone's
Billy saw Halloween.
Really scared about Halloween. I did not require the use of a scaredy blanket.
Do you take it to the theaters with you?
I mulled it over, but it's pretty big.
Is it one of those good weighted ones?
It's like one of those big, like those sports teams ones that they sell at like Bed Bath & Beyond. It's my Angel's scaredy blanket.
I will
Dan
admit.
has so many questions.
I have
could
so many
ask.
questions about what you thought of the movie, about how crowded it was, about if you missed the scaredy blanket.
I want to talk about all of that and more, but why don't we do that in just a little minute? So we'll get to the story and then we'll circle back. I promise we really will circle back to this because I know, and it's a good story. We talked about Halloween just this morning. Shout out to you and all your scaredy blankets. My scaredy blanket is my man, Caleb. Okay, Netflix is being sued by a satanic church. This is via IGN and The Wrap. This is a story that made us all very happy yesterday afternoon because it's so weird, which is just what we like. This is an organization called the Satanic Temple, and it's threatening legal action against Netflix's The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and this is reported by The Wrap. The temple's co-founder, Lucien Greaves.
Which I'm going to look up to just see if it's a
Oh,
real
Danielle
name.
has some things for you.
I have things.
Let me get through it. Let me get through it, damn it. So Lucien Greaves said, "We've sent Netflix a letter from our lawyers informing them of the copyright violation, asking them to take our imagery out of their show." And then he tweeted, "Yes, we are taking legal action regarding hashtag The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Parenthetical, thanks for the signal boost to Sabrina from me and Netflix, appropriating our copyrighted monument design to promote their asinine satanic panic fiction." This is the statue that they have said is in copyright violation. It is seen several times in the show, which I have watched, that's true, at the Academy of the Unseen Arts, a magical school that teaches the way of the Dark Lord, who is their version of Satan. Satan. So he told, Greaves told SF Gate that he's depicting the image of Baphomet as evil, which, you know, it could give a negative, like, sort of just image of the Church of Satan to associate it with evil. And nowhere else in the world would we associate the idea of Satan as evil, only in this one Netflix teen drama. So then he said, "I feel that the use of our particular image that is recognized as our own central icon being displayed fictionally as central to some cannibalistic cult has real world damaging effects for us." Stop it. He went on to say, "I want them to take it out. It looks like it's CGI facsimile to begin with." Burn. And I don't know how much work that takes, but I simply refuse to have our monument used in this way in perpetuity. I don't want our monument to be associated with this. Okay, all respect to religious freedoms and all of this, and this is your monument. I have a number of questions, and then you guys just need to have at it. Danielle has follow-up information for us. One is, yesterday, our colleague Katrina made the point, like, okay, so if it's copyright infringement, you can't copyright God. You can only copyright a fictional thing. So are they saying that their God's fictional? No, they're talking about the statue.
The statue itself, yes.
Itself, which apparently is evocative of, very closely evoking their statue. However, you can't copyright like an image of Jesus. Am I wrong?
Well, I think as I understand it, and I think the greatest thing about this case is that it may actually have some legal merit. If you go, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but the case that I believe that the Satanic Temple and Lucien Greaves are making.
Dad, it's Lucien Greaves.
You have to put that satanic stank on it.
Greaves.
Yeah.
Are making is that this particular statue was created by the Satanic Temple for their purposes, and that it is co-opting their original artistic design for the show. So it's not so much the use of the figure itself; it is the co-opting of the particular design that they believe is unique to their particular organization.
And just to follow up, Roth, just looking online about can you copyright Jesus, it's almost impossible to copyright the actual use of the image, say like Crispin Glover's image in Back to the Future. He could sue for that because that was him. You can't sue for that, but if you had your own painting of Jesus and that painting showed up, then you could claim copyright.
Which I believe is what they are attempting to claim here.
That seems to be the lawsuit. I also like the idea of the way they describe the show as basically manic pixie dream cannibal witch, which is a new trope that we have a lot of complaints about. Danielle, you have updates.
Yeah, so I went on to the Lucian Greaves's.
Thank you.
Have to get that liquid U. I went on to his Twitter, and someone asked him, because apparently in some images of Baphomet, there are breasts. And so they were like, well, that can't be the real one anyway because there are no breasts. And Lucian, I'm going to take this out because it's too good for me to not directly quote, and I did take a picture.
Also, he'll sue you.
Also, he'll sue me. He wrote, "Oh no, we actually modeled our Baphomet from Baphomet itself, who posed for our sculptor."
Oh, so there's the distinction. So
he had time that day.
Yeah, there was another satanic organization that liked the show. You said.
Yeah, the Anton LaVey. Apparently, there's like warring satanic peoples, but they seem to enjoy it. They were like, yeah, we like the way that Sabrina handled it.
They're a little more. They're a little more like Anglican satanic.
Yeah,
sure.
But they didn't. They don't like American Horror Story, like the new one. And they were saying Apocalypse, and I guess they wrote a whole think piece about it, and they were saying that Sabrina is a better show.
Oh, that's a think piece I want to read.
See, this is a real testament to our divided times, because if the satanic groups can't get on the same page, then what hope do the rest of us have?
Also, how can you not have a decent sense of humor when the headquarters for your church is in Hell's Kitchen? Like, you'd think they'd have a better sense. Like, if they were like enough to do that. Like, come on. I think the depiction of moved there in 01. I think the depiction of
Wait, when did you do all this research? Huh? When did you do this research?
Well, you guys were just talking before the show. I did my satanic duty, my satanic due diligence. I think the depiction of satanic panic is silly here. Like, satanic panic is like D&D in the 80s.
Yes, I grew up in the birthplace of satanic panic. This is not satanic panic.
As a matter of fact, it's a show that is, I'm being legitimate
makes
here.
It look dope.
It's quite nuanced in its depiction of Sabrina's being drawn, and it's literally called The Path of Night and The Path of Light, and neither one is perfect, one is certainly Satan. But it's actually quite
kind of sick.
Quite a nuanced depiction. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, we've had this conversation before, both on the show and off. Like, teen girls really love witches and magic and the devil and murder. And
never stops.
This show wraps all of that up and is like, hey, weird libertarians of the dark arts, which is what the Satanic Church is to me. Free market and free will, baby. Like, come join our church. It's sick. Like, you want that good marketing. You want to be like, hey, did you like Sabrina? You'll love the teachings of Lucian Greaves from the Satanic Temple. Like, that's your real life Netflix recommendation. Take advantage of it.
No, you're right. I just did want to very quickly, if we might, just it's Lucian Greaves.
Lucian
Hello,
Greaves.
Did you love Sabrina? You'll love
Lucian Greaves. I agree, and I have to wonder if this isn't in some part. This is the two questions I have from us from a marketing perspective. One, are they not just trying to signal boost their own church and trying to get some attention to it? And two,
they have a Patreon.
On the Netflix side, are they not just kind of like, are we happy or not about this? Because they have a team of lawyers who are going to take care of it. It's getting some attention on Sabrina.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not aware of the full background of Lucien Greaves. But it seems like from the pictures, he's like, here's a picture of my statue here. That's the weird thing about this for me is this. I think this might actually have some bearing as far as like Netflix is going to have to assign some lawyers and maybe fly out to Hell's Kitchen and go take some pictures of their Baphomet statue and figure out how to get around it so they don't have to do the Hangover thing of like digitally. Didn't they have to do that for the Blu-ray? They had to like digitally alter Ed Helms' face tattoo because they did the Mike Tyson tattoo, and that was a copyrighted piece. That was a copyrighted piece of art that somebody used without permission.
You know, all fun with Lucien Greaves aside, you know, if they did Ice Ice Baby, original Satanic
but ours is
Church, like if they really did Ice Ice Baby,
well, that's actually not from
Under
Ice
Pressure.
Ice Baby.
Then
and just to be clear, for the
well, that's what I'm saying. Like if they took the Satanic Church's Under Pressure and changed a bass note
for the Hangover thing, Warner Brothers was able to settle, so the blurring it or changing the design digitally was on the table at one point, but they did settle with the person, which is exactly what I think this Church of Satan is going to do.
Got it. And I recognize that you were making the Under Pressure. I followed 1 minute later. Go ahead.
Lucien Greaves, though, Lucien Greaves does not. I agree, though. He has no appreciation for the times that he's living in. The Satanic Panic, Satanic. When I was a kid, Satanic Panic was the metal videos on the TV during Beavis and Butthead are turning my son evil. Like, that's Satanic Panic.
And then before that, it was playing records backwards.
It was playing records backward. Like, we are living in, like, the Satanic Golden Age. Anything goes.
This is the Golden Age of Satan on so many levels, I'd say.
Like, people, when I grew up, were protesting the Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina the Teenage Witch because it was Satan. Like,
and Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, because how dare you depict that the thing that was the hardest for him to let go was human life.
Yeah, this is a free-for-all.
Yeah, there were a couple years in Kentucky where some kids had a vampire cult because they were playing Vampire the Masquerade, and they like killed one of the other kids or something. And so for the next like 3 years, if you looked at a vampire thing, like every old lady at the church like freaked out. And
or what about Harry Potter? I mean, there are people that are legitimately like scared of and protesting that delightful boy witch.
There were kids I went to school with that couldn't go trick or treating.
Wizard.
Because it was devil worship. I mean, that's Satanic Panic.
Smurfs. I was not allowed to watch Smurfs because it involved witchcraft during the
You couldn't have gotten through an episode of Smurfs anyway without the blanket.
That's true. I would need my scary blanket.
Honestly, Gargamel was pretty scary.
He is pretty scary.
Gargamel
I'll
was scary.
never know. I will never know.
But my question is, if Baphomet did pose for the statue, does he get a subpoena?
And I presume that he did and he will, and that we will have to call the coroners right here on the show at a particular point in order to truly unpack this.
I just want to see, you know that scene in Batman Forever when they show the origin of Two-Face and Batman's in court? I want to see that. I want to see that, but with Baphomet like on the stand. Like, can you? Is it true that you sat for? It's like, yes, it's true. I sat for this portrait. Yes, I believe this is an unauthorized use of my image. It was a really wonderful day.
While I have your attention, I'd like to draw your note some of the problematic plot issues in episode 7.
I'll see you soon, Mr. Prosecutor.
I would like to say that there aren't any mines in the continental U.S. that would be deep enough to lead to a hell mouth.
This only exposes a larger chasm of misunderstanding in the entertainment community.
Your Honor, the court calls Lucien Greaves.
As a postscript, I would like to say that I do applaud your depiction of current psychosexual, sociological relations. He just turned into some combination of Baphomet and every political leader we've ever had.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
Also, are you guys caught up on It's Always Sunny?
So good. so good, though. Legitimately, Joe, real quick. So good.
Gotta get on it.
So good. Get on that train. This story brings me so many giggles. I do wonder how Netflix is feeling in terms of, like, it does draw attention to Sabrina, their show, but wouldn't it be fascinating if this lawsuit, like, reminds the Christians that they should have been protesting this show? And that they're like, oh, they're satanic cannibalists on this program? A protest. I kind of hope that happens.
I'm wondering if it.
And in that way, we bring the Baphomets and the Christians together.
I'm wondering.
That is hilarious if
they're
those
both
two groups are both outside together
Like,
protesting the show.
We will have figured out how to solve all the problems of our currently reign of Satan world if we can get them to work together to stop this teen witch.
There are some Christian artists that just realized that Left Behind used some painting of Jesus that they did in the Apostles, and they're like, those Baphomet guys, they had a good point. Like, I should be seeing a little bit of.
I cannot wait for the cult of Vigo the Carpathian to go after Ghostbusters 2 retroactively.
Yes.
It's so amazing.
Ebony and Ivory. I'm so excited.
It's great.
Oh God, the story makes me together in perfect harmony. Side by side on the piano, why don't we?
Roth, you have to change like 3 notes in there so that we can keep it
Speaking
going.
of copyright infringement.
You're just so good. I thought it was the real recording.
Pick a megachurch guy, any megachurch guy. That's them and Lucian Graves at karaoke after they win their
Exactly. That's exactly. This is going to be the most amazing tale of a bond of friendship. And you know what, guys? There is nothing like the celebration of teen girldom in order to bring people together in protest. Okay, this one's a little different. All right. It's going to stay with us on this one because it's going to sound weird, and then there's a message. I'm prepping us with that. This is via EW. One actor reveals that he was a fraud. Stop. Let us hear it out. This is an actor who appeared in small roles on Better Call Saul and Logmire, and he was posing as a wounded veteran, and he was missing one arm. But he said, and he came out recently, that in reality he, quote, severed his hand with a skill saw when he was in a psychotic episode. And he had told people that he was a veteran to give a reason for why he lost his arm and work as an actor. He worked, again, The Men Who Stare at Goats, Better Call Saul, and a number of small roles in pretty big projects, actually. He said, quote, the film industry took a different angle, that I was different, and so they liked that. They trusted me, that I was exactly who I said I was. I said I was a war veteran. I was hired because I lied. Now, I just want to put an asterisk on that until we get to the next quote about what he said, which I think is actually to be applauded. But they probably didn't care. They were looking to hire an actor who had one arm. He did. And my guess is that he felt the need to explain it, but he probably actually didn't need to. But either way, he did lie about it. And he said he was off his medication during the episode. He is back on his medication now. And he feels like this confession will hurt him professionally. However, he said, I was dishonorable. I'm killing my career by doing this. If anyone thinks this was for personal edification, that is not the case. I'm ousting myself from the New Mexico film industry, and gladly so. I just want to say what I've said. The power is in your hands to take your medication in the morning or at night, so that this discourse of my life doesn't need to necessarily be yours. Because it happens quickly. It happens very, very quickly. So here's sort of what I want to say about that, which is Billy saw a number of people very quickly reading the headline, jumping on the train of F this guy, so on and so forth. But if we pause, this takes not less, but more compassion, considering like the level of fear and panic someone has to be in to sever their own arm. And that he then talked about it openly in order to put a highlight on mental illness, I think is commendable. What do you guys think?
I think he's right. He's obviously getting backlash, and he will get backlash. Mental illness is something that, there is a stigma, and people, especially in the last couple of years, have been doing a lot to try to get rid of the stigma and being like, hey, it's an illness, we have to talk about it openly. So him coming out, it doesn't sound like, from what I've read, this wasn't a case of someone being like, yo, we discovered this about you, and so then he has to come back. This is him with no prompting saying, this is what I did, this is how it happened, I'm apologizing, and I want to bring light to this.
Yeah.
When he really, if he hadn't been caught, he wasn't someone who got caught. So.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. So, yeah, that's he must really, really mean it, and he really wants to get out the word, and I think that's great. And hopefully, again, this continues to be part of the larger conversation.
Yeah, quick, just wanted to note that he said this in an interview with the local news station KOB-TV. I do understand veterans and those that have families that are veterans not wanting to undermine the importance of that sacrifice, and that it is considered incredibly disrespectful to pose as a veteran, and rightfully so. But he seems to I'm only saying that he seems to understand that he crossed a very big line in that way as well.
That's where I have to take pause, and I'm very biased. I'm very proud to share my life with a veteron.
Me too. My brother
is a veteran.
My brother's a veteran.
So
he was in the Marines.
My hairs automatically go up at that, just because I actually do think that, and rightfully so, I do think that it does make a difference. I do think that people want to or are and I think should feel like if they have an opportunity to hire or employ a veteran, that can work in their favor, and I think it should. I don't think that's an unfair disadvantage.
I don't think so either.
I think that veterans a lot of times have a very difficult time coming home and figuring out their place in the world, and I think that I don't think it's improper for them to use that part of themselves in order to say, hey, I think that I would be good at this because I've served. So I do think that there's the mental illness is a completely other side of the story, but that's why I have to sort of just like take a breath and step back, because that to me, I just have a very instinctual thing of just like that is not okay, but there is another component to this story.
No, and I get that because I grew up on base. I've talked about this. Every man in my family has either been to jail or is a vet, and like my dad works with AMVETs a lot, dealing with people who were coming home and trying to reintegrate back into civilian life. So yeah, I totally, completely get that.
I do too. I mean, my brother was in the military. My brother was in the military for 7 years. He was in the Marines. My grandfather was in the military. Actually both. I get that too. Yeah. One was in the military, drafted in a war. One worked for the Navy for his entire life. Sorry, Air Force. Jesus. Sorry. Don't
mix those up.
Sorry. The brother was in the Marines, though. That's a fact. I get that. I really do, Dan, and I get that perspective from folks who are upset. But I also feel like part of mental illness is being disconnected from those boundaries. Clearly, sorry, Joe. Thoughts?
No, I mean it. I think it takes a lot of strength of character to own up to the fact that you've made decisions and done things that are going to kill your own career, and own them regardless of the consequences to your own career, and sort of move forward to figure out what your life's going to be now that, in his own words, he's sort of been ousted by that. He's going to definitely be ousted by that local industry. And, regardless of sort of what caused him to do this, he did what he did, and part of his sort of struggle and journey is just going to be continue to deal with the fallout and sort of figure out where he's going to sort of go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess anyway, this one at the end of the day is one of those things where you understand lots of feelings on lots of sides, but I don't know, my general take about us as a culture at the moment, and Billy, wanted you to weigh in too, is we are very attached to shaming right now. We are incredibly attached to shaming, and I'm not sure that it ever, in fact, I'm convinced 100,000%, and data will back this up, that it solves nothing and it only makes things worse. Billy?
Yeah, I just think the whole reason of putting this one in the story too was it's a headline story, Mm-hmm. I even regret almost our lower third here, because there's just no other way to put it. But it is very much, it's immediate, like send them away, put them away. And we've seen a lot of actors, rightfully so in a lot of cases, be instantly blacklisted for certain things. But this one was kind of interesting because here's a man like clearly in pain, and there's almost a lesson to take out of this one. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of I don't want to say backlash, but what kind of fallout comes out from this story, but it's kind of a sad case all around for everyone. Because it's a bummer. I agree. That's one of the worst lies you can tell. Is
stolen valor is not something to be messed around with.
No, it's not. Yeah. No, it's not.
And I think that shaming people who have come out and admitted their mistakes and said, I was wrong for, like he has.
Yeah.
I was wrong for doing this. This was not something. I agree that they should not be caught in a perpetual cycle of being shamed. And, like there should be. But I also think that there are people out there who've done things wrong, who have not admitted their mistakes, who have decided of their own volition that, I've paid my penance, but have taken none of those steps. To do that, and that's where I do think that there should be, as with all things, I think there are levels and there's subtlety in between, because I think that you should definitely be open to, if somebody has genuinely come forward and said, I admit this mistake, this was wrong, and shown an understanding of why that was wrong, and taken steps for self-improvement and to correct it, then move forward. And I hope that he's able to do so. He seems that he's taken this step.
Yeah. Respect to that shows character.
But at the same time, I also think that should not be extended to people who had just decided, like, it's been long enough, so I'm just going to come back and without taking any of those steps.
Sure.
And I think for me, that's the demarcation. If he had done this and just gotten caught, just been like, oh, I'm sorry, that for me is like, well, but are you? But he seems legitimately regretful, and this is going to cause substantial impact to him.
Oh yeah.
So that's where, for me, as far as the demarcation goes, with moving on, second chances, etc., because sometimes people just feel like they're due their second chance without having to actually go through the steps.
Sure, and this guy's willing to take. He's saying openly, I will have no more film career, but this is more important to me. The coming back into feeling internal integrity for doing something, making a huge error, and then to shine a light on mental illness, so that you would hope that it doesn't. This is just what I mean. I just hope it doesn't stop at the yelling, and instead goes a step further into the discussion of, on the one hand, why it really is such a big deal to claim valor, and where we really do need to respect the sacrifices that people have been, whether they served in the military in wartime or not, the sacrifices that were made there, and then, but particularly if they really suffered an injury like that in war, or a loss, and two, the depth of what it would take for someone of mental illness and fear that it would take for someone to cut off their own arm, and how we really do need to have better supports. Okay, this was not a fun one, so I get that. We're gonna move on, and it's gonna be a hard left turn. I'm just gonna put it out there. There is no casual, easy way to transition, so we're just gonna transition to
Play
something.
the rough transition.
Is that the only thing that we can do? Just do some kind of thing. Thank you. And celebrity Halloween costumes. Thank you.
There we go.
Yay!
Team transition.
Unite! We did it! And together we got us to celebrity Halloween costumes from war and mental illness. Yay! These are some Halloween costumes that came out this year that were very fun and people were particularly impressed with. We'll end with the best, in my opinion. So this is Seth Green and Claire Grant as Luke and Ray.
Well,
wait,
no,
no,
this
it's
is the
not. I'm sorry.
Captain
I was reading.
You said Seth Green, and I looked up. I was like, oh no!
I'm sorry. I was reading and not looking at the monitor.
Seth Green, what have you done?
And that would have been an entirely different.
That would have been our headline today.
Yeah, that would have definitely been our headline today.
Dressed up as T'Challa.
That would have been a very different show.
Oh,
How about Roth? You read them out, and then JT will put up the corresponding image.
Why don't you follow my lead? And we'll avoid another scenario like what just happened, where Seth Green is currently getting a lot of unwelcome tweets. Seth Green and his wife Claire Grant as Luke and Ray.
That's a good one. He's got a beard. He's got Luke hair.
Got those expensive glowy lightsabers.
Yeah.
One of those.
He kind of looks like Luke a little bit.
Yeah.
He does have a little Lukey in that in those eyebrows. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, Stephen Merchant as Doctor Strange.
Oh, now this I want to see.
Yeah.
He's got the figure for it.
Okay. Oh, that's
all
dope.
right.
Right?
That looks pretty good.
He's an underrated dry comedian.
You think he's
I like that
underrated?
man a lot. Do what?
You think? I thought everybody loved him.
Yeah, I think he should be in more things.
He should be in more. He's in the Girl in the Spider's Web.
Yeah.
This
I'm just
coming
saying,
week.
it's a
Next
swan is the funniest line in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it's a swan.
It's a swan.
He's in a
Needs more credit.
he's in a dramatic role.
Ooh.
He's in a dramatic role. There you have
How
it.
strange.
Thank you. The Blackish
what I
cast
did.
as the Black Panther characters.
Oh, there we go.
What are you doing, Seth Green?
That kid got so tall.
Yeah, he did. That's one of the best parts of watching a show that has a kid in it. Is when they're eventually 8 feet taller.
Watching them all
Yeah.
tower over their
Grow
co-stars.
up.
Yep.
That dude's towering over Ed O'Neill now.
Yep.
The Modern Family.
it's
Not Manny,
upsetting.
the other kid.
Luke?
Luke.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's going on, Dad? Hello, Father.
By the way, fan of
know.
Screen Junkies. He's the guy who plays Luke on Modern Family. Fan of Screen Junkies. He came and
Yeah.
did Watching Thrones with
That's
you.
right.
Yeah, he's
Very, very
cool.
tall.
Now I
very
feel terrible
tall.
that my recall's failing me and I can't remember his name off the top.
But Jessica Biel and
huge.
Justin Timberlake are here as Lego Batman characters to take the heat off us. And Seth Green.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty solid.
That's pretty.
Oh, look at the
I
little one.
know. I can't handle it.
Although the big boxy costume like that, I just think of the SNL sketch like coming on down to Batman.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Emma Watson is Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Emma Watson is Wonder. What are you doing,
There
Seth
it
Green?
is.
Why is she with Yoda?
Oh my lord! What is that?
That is a really scary Yoda.
Who is that Yoda?
That
Is that a
a-
person or what?
That is
His
a
eyes
nightmare.
are penetrating my soul.
Yeah. And it also looks like
Wait.
Yoda just took Wonder Woman's soul.
Is that Dobby dressed as Yoda?
Is that like Yoda possessed by
Haunting my
Beelzebub? What is
dreams.
happening?
that is-
and look
that
at how
is-
terrified she looks
My
in
God.
that selfie.
They're about to get sued by the Satanic Church.
Oh yeah.
You know who's
Oh,
in
yeah.
that Yoda costume?
Who?
Lucid
Green. Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas as Morticia and Gomez Adams.
Oh, okay.
Do.
I always forget that they're dating.
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
The hand.
That
Good.
thing's a
That's
nice touch,
actually,
yeah.
That actually looks great.
Last
Alright.
year, Mara and I went as Fester and Wednesday. We could have helped complete that Adams family.
Yeah.
Cute.
Ciara as Nakia.
See,
Oh.
yeah. So
Wait,
Rob, Ciara is
how-
a wow. That's Cotier Nakia.
That is
She tried.
stunning.
What is
She
that?
tried.
Velvet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Velvet?
What are we even?
She cloned herself.
What's going on here with the picture?
It's a.
Is
It's
this
a. It's
Yeah.
is this an
Photoshop.
Instagram?
It's
Yeah,
a
it's an Instagram
split.
thingy.
Yeah.
This is welcome to your daily raw. Does not know a thing. You really like so many of the things I just don't know. You know, somebody the other day, really quick, a colleague sent an email saying like, "Hey BB, can we take you like lowercase BB? Can we take you out to lunch?" And I had to Slack this person and go, "I'm so sorry. What does BB mean?"
What is a BB?
Did you think she meant to send it to someone else?
I really
like a
was so
BB?
confused. I just didn't know.
Really business?
I really thought maybe
Really
it was for you.
BB Newworth.
I just needed clarity. Apparently, it's a term of endearment. Okay, good. Harry Styles as Elton John.
Oh, okay.
I saw this one. This one's really good.
Oh wow, that's
Solid.
great.
It's.
Okay.
I mean, it's no Nakia. Nakia is the one to beat.
yeah,
Yeah.
she looks amazing. I
Halloween is
feel
a
like
competition.
she's running for Queen of the World with that picture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Beyonce and Jay-Z as FloJo and gold medalist Tommy Smith.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys know who FloJo is? She was a runner.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
That's like spot. If you look up FloJo's outfit that she wore, it's like spot on. Like almost convinced that's the actual one.
I mean, she could buy it.
Yeah, she can afford
It's
it.
amazing
It may
what you
actually
can
be
do
it.
with
If
millions
she
of
can
dollars
shoot,
to buy
If she
if she
custom
can
costumes
shoot a
and
music
makeup
video in the
artists.
Louvre, I wouldn't doubt
Yeah.
that she can have FloJo's
But,
actual.
Look, can we do a little background on FloJo, like when she won and all that? Because she was like, oh, all right, I just don't know if the kids know.
The kids know.
This and while Billy is doing that for us, let's look at this one. Is amazing. This is
Oh.
Heidi Klum and her husband Not Seal as Shrek and Fiona, and it is like they went.
Oh, wow.
Wow!
She doesn't Heidi. She does something like
every
huge
year.
every
Yeah,
year,
every
right?
year. Look at that. It's like, and if you guys go and you look any of the video of it, it's even more impressive.
Yeah, like it hits her facial expressions and like the eyebrows move and yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Plus, there
That's-
was one on TMZ, which I would never normally tell you to go to, that features them and Mike Myers. like actual Mike Myers, which is, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Isn't
like,
that awesome?
Yeah.
not
pretty
Stabby Boy, the Canadian.
The one who voiced,
Yeah.
the voice of Shrek.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Billy Business?
I just want to say the chat is very offended that you think that they don't know who FloJo is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1988, 3 gold medals. I believe her record still stands. She's
Yeah.
one of the fastest runners of all time.
She is also the woman that Sir Mix-a-Lot would like to keep his women as.
Yeah. Oh.
FloJo.
Beat me to it. I was trying to remember the line right before it. I was going through the whole song in my head like that.
I
Like
guess
Cartman singing Sail
I guess
Away.
I would like to formally apologize to the chat and just say I love you. Hey, we're gonna close out on a very awesome video from our own Roxy Stryer. Watch Roxy wake up at 6 a.m. to get on a private jet to go talk to the actors in Bohemian Rhapsody and watch Queen live because I'm peanut butter and jealous. And then later this afternoon, watch Julia Prescott versus Jay Washington versus Trisha Hirschberger on an awesome, epic movie fight to end all movie fights. Do these things and stay tuned for Roxy right now doing her thing.
Good morning, everyone. We have one hell of a day ahead of us, so I can't wait to take you guys with me. 9 a.m. on the Fox lot, just living that rock star life. Just watched about 35 to 40 minutes of the film. Holy crap, am I excited to see the rest when it comes out. On the bus right now on our way to the airport. The cast and the paparazzi. Looks like Queen to me. Something's happening. Oh, I'm actually catching it this time. Walking around the MGM looking for the junket. This awesome jean jacket lucky situation is going on where they're actually letting us embroider something onto it, and then there's also these dope ass patches. I'm putting ROX because that's my name.
These are wonderful students from the School of Rock Las Vegas location, and we are going to get you up to actually learn Queen's song.
Oh, I'm so painfully bad.
No, you don't even know. Like, it's gonna be nails, not even chalkboard. Like, I'm screeching rock. You're gonna do
In a good way, in a really good way.
Our lead singer just quit. Then you'll need someone new.
Nice job, you did great.
Oh, I was the worst that there ever has been, and I will own that title till I die.
You were great.
So they have grouped all 4 of the actors together. I wish I could pull you guys for what #1 question you wanted to hear was, but I will do my best. Really got to try to figure out who is Scaramouche.
Rami, with so much question still surrounding Freddie Mercury's life, how do you prepare as an actor for a role like that?
It's obviously the weight of playing someone so monumental. It's a great task to take on. Just have to do him the justice that he deserves, learn as much as I possibly could about him to tell his story as well as I could. That took the help of all of us and a crew and producers that were all as invested as I was.
Who is Scaramouche? And what is the Fandango?
Thunderbolts and lightning.
Really good. Oh, it's very, very frightening.
The answers are in the film. It comes in about 40 minutes into the film. We answer all those questions.
Yeah, so you should probably.
Galileo, Scaramouche comes
They're all
in.
credited, yeah.
Yeah,
they all get single cards.
Absolutely. What does the fandango look like? Is it a
It's a lot like the Macarena.
Go on, you do it.
But it's just sort of the reverse.
Do the fandango. Do a little
Go on,
chair
you do it.
fandango.
Well, no, you kind of
So
start
well.
up here and then you kind of come down. So yeah.
Oh, so the Macarena is based on the Fandango.
It is, yeah. It's an
There we
iteration
go.
of it. It's like a postmodern version of the
They're
Fandango.
close relatives, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
I learn something new every single day.
You're welcome.
We're here for you.
Thank you. How do you think Queen would actually do on the radio today?
I mean, everyone is listening to Queen probably as much as they were in the past. It's one of those bands that is timeless. It's as good now as it ever has been.
They've never confined themselves to genre, or they've never been concerned about being like cool or anything like that. So it means that they can transcend time and kind of taste and all that kind of thing. That's what gives them a universal appeal, I think.
No one will play us on the radio.
We need to get experimental.
I just got to meet Roger and Brian, and it was awesome. They could not have been more friendly. It's been an amazing day so far, but meeting them might have been the highlight because they just could not have been cooler. So I'm so excited to see them perform with Adam Lambert tonight, and I'll keep you guys posted. You'll be right alongside with me. Cheers to you, and I'll see you at the concert. Oh, that was kind of cool. I nailed that. Oh, no big deal. Like, super close to the mother frickin' stage.